It is indeed my pleasure at this point. Rocky, I know you see this, buddy. I put this up just for you. But Rocky Sisson is next. We're going to introduce him, but we had to give him a grand opening here. But he served on the Archdiocesan Council. He served on the San Francisco Council, there, the Metropolis. He's one of our esteemed members of our Archon National Council, and probably one of the most creative guys that I know. Rocky, I'm going to hand it over to you, buddy.
Gus, thank you very much. That was fantastic. Rocky Sisson, Archon Prepositos. You know, I'm reminded by listening to what Gus said that I'm going to give a quick commercial before I begin for Archon Weekend. As John said, this is something we wanted to do in person, and we've now been involved in multiple of these boot camps, and you get inspired, you get reinvigorated. And so I'm going to make a commercial that now that you are Archons, always return for Archon Weekend. Archon Weekend is such a critically important event. You're with your brothers, you see everything that's going on. You're energized again, great ideas. This last one was incredibly special with this All Holiness, but make it a point to come to Archon Weekend. I've been an Archon since 2016. I've had the honor of serving the order. I wear this hat. Gus gave it to me when he made me an honorary member of the Chicago Archons, and I was excited for that. We're going to talk about communication. We're going to talk about an opportunity that you have right now to make an impact. Gus mentioned that last year my theme was "Don't wait to be asked." That's still there. You can take time right now, and I love the comment Gus made about putting time aside each week to study and read. John gave you the command to read the Bartholomew book. So we're going to talk about communication, and I'm going to start in a broad sense and then narrow down. So as Archons, we communicate broadly on a one-to-many platform, on a one-to-few platform, and then one-to-one. I'm really going to focus on one-to-one, but before I get there, let me hit a couple points. One-to-many. We have a social media platform, we give speeches, and this is going to be the audience participation section of this call. You all have these devices. Everyone on this call needs to have downloaded the Archon app to their phone. You can get it in either Android or Apple, depending on which iPhone, depending on which you have. Download the Archon app. Open up notifications. If you have the Archon app on your phone and you have notifications enabled, you will always be up to date and in touch with everything as it relates to the Archons. We don't overwhelm you. We don't send stuff all that. We send the important information to you so that it pops up and it's there, and so you're always aware. Also, through the Archon app, you have access to all three of the websites that we work: archons.org, christianpersecution.org, and the Bartholomew Foundation. The Archons really have three areas that we're working on with our social media and with our broadcast. Again, the Archons, all that has become Archons. You will see on the app, what is an Archon? You will learn about St. Andrew. You will learn about the 5 issues. You will understand the leadership. You can search the name of every Archon and understand more about your brother Archons. You can read and understand what's happening with the Bartholomew Foundation, what's going on, how we're proceeding, and the importance of the Bartholomew Foundation. And you'll see Christian persecution. John is going to touch on this more during his presentation, but we have a special site where we detail news stories every day. As you'll see, there is no religious minority, I guess, persecuted more than Christians. And you will see that as you go through the Christian persecution website. So through the Archon app, you have complete access to everything as it relates to His All Holiness, as it relates to the Patriarchate, Christian persecution, what the Archons are doing, and the Bartholomew Foundation. So please download the app, have your friends download the app. We have 3 social media platforms that we run on: Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow the Archons on each one of our social media platforms. Follow us. Follow us on all of them. When you see things that are interesting, retweet them to your group. We're in the process of some really exciting reevaluation, rebranding of our social media sites, but you need to be involved with our social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, follow the Archons. So that's my command. John wanted you to read the book. I want you to download the app and do that. So one to many, we reach a lot of people, one to many, one to few, great opportunity. And Gus really talked about it. Speaking in your church, speaking before groups, talking to small groups of people and really getting our message out there. And then the last one I want to talk about, which is really important, which is what you can do today, is that one-to-one. There is no more powerful communication tool. There is no more impactful communication than that one-to-one communication with someone who you respects you, knows you, when you talk to them about something that's important to you. And as Archons, it is so important for us to have that one-to-one communication. Remember, we have broadly speaking, two constituencies that we're talking to. We're talking to our fellow Orthodox Christians, of course, about the patriarchate. And we have to always remind them, we as Orthodox Christians have a responsibility much greater than the four walls of the church we attend. Our responsibility extends to Constantinople. As we say on the Sunday of Orthodoxy, this is the faith of our fathers. This is the faith upon which the world was founded. Our responsibility is much greater in that regard. So we have that, and we have to continually remind and continually talk to our brother Orthodox Christians. But we have a second constituency, and that's those that might not be Orthodox, might not be Christian, but who believe in religious freedom, who believe in the right to believe and to exercise that belief without fear of intimidation, violence, retribution. These are also our brothers. These are also the people that aid us and work with us in the fight for religious freedom. I've had the honor of representing the Archons at the Organization for Cooperation and Security in Europe conference in Warsaw a couple of times with my brother Archon Konstantin Karas. And in the halls of this meeting, where you are there talking about religious freedom, talking about your particular area, and ours, we're representing the persecution of the patriarch and the patriarchate in Turkey. That's what I talk openly about. Are other like-minded people. They might not be all Orthodox, but they believe in religious freedom. And I walk the halls and I talk to them about our issue. And in that case, I utilize this card, which you have, which has a picture of His All Holiness on the front. And this outlines our 5 issues. I talk about the 5 issues of the Archons. I use this card when I'm talking to non-Christians or non-Orthodox, because we have another card in there with St. Andrew that's an icon. You might have people that aren't really Christian that are uncomfortable with the icon, but they have the same belief in religious freedom. So the Archons publish a couple of different versions for those that we can reach that might not be comfortable or might not embrace the religious, the icon card. And we talk about the 5 issues. I pass out so many of these and have so many conversations with non-Orthodox that I guess I hope around the world there are people like-minded that have these cards on their desk or in their desk and are reminded, that we are all together in this fight for religious freedom. We have these cards in your box, and we use these cards as tools. We use these cards to give you the opportunity to talk to people about the Archons and about religious freedom. Carry on that conversation. We do a similar thing, you'll notice, with the Agga Sofia cards. We have the Agga Sofia cards, and on the back, the history of the Great Church of Christ. Now, we have 2 different versions of this card too. We have one version, and they're both quotes from His All Holiness, where he talks about the only true utilization of Agga Sofia is that as a Christian house of worship. He has another quote where he talks about Agga Sofia had been the place where Muslims and Christians had come together, where all faiths can be. Again, you can see why we use the 2 different ones depending on the audience that you're talking to. We want to spread the message. We want to create allies. We want to talk about religious freedom, the plight of His All Holiness, and we talk differently sometimes to those that are outside of our Orthodox world. These cards are of, oh, and a fourth card you have is a wonderful card that we just produced. His All Holiness Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, and on the back, we have His All Holiness. People are using these cards in really interesting ways. For example, we have a lot of them. If you want to give a speech at your church about His All Holiness, contact the national office, have a few hundred cards sent out and pass them out to everybody in the church after you're done talking. I've given away so many of these. I want our people, frankly, our people a lot of times get so focused in on their church, they sometimes lose, as we say during the creed, we are an apostolic church. His All Holiness embodies that line of the creed. We reinforce that with these cards. These are all great tools and all things that you can utilize. You have an incredible opportunity right now. I know the first time I put on this rosette, and I wear it all the time, and I've had great experiences, as all archons have, when someone says, hey, what's that mean? And it could happen in a business setting, it could happen in a social setting. What's that button's all about? Hey, I'm a member of an organization that promotes religious freedom. And then we get deeper into that conversation. Wear your button and be reignited every time you put that on in that rosette, because again, it's that one-on-one opportunity that you have to talk about the order, to talk about religious freedom, to talk about His All Holiness, and to inspire others. And that's what we want to do. We're going to do the big stuff. We're going to do social media. We're going to do the big speeches. We're going to continue to drive that direction. But what you can do today is having those one-on-one conversations, and that's the main message I wanted to leave everybody with.